Welcome to Gary's Hobby Studio. In this video, I had to rebuild my download machine. The hardware decided to go sideways. I do believe it's the motherboard. I didn't have a spare power supply to test it with. I will be testing it probably at some point in time because I'm not going to throw it out just yet, because if it was the power supply, that's fine. I can use it for something else, like a media center PC upstairs, maybe. Just depends. The performance just really isn't that great. Might be some small, maybe as a backup server to back up the VMs to. That would work, because I can install Proxmox backup and use that, because I really don't. Because for all that is, for backup and restore would be fine, but I digress. So here's the video. Okay, so I'm going to end up rebuilding. Here's the download machine that I usually use for downloading things. This way it lets me do other things with my laptops and other computers that I work on. So here is why I'm replacing it, because this has been running and it's doing this. So I'm going to assume that it's pretty much the hardware, the motherboard on there. I'm not going to rule out possible power supply, but I just have a weird feeling that it's the motherboard itself that's bad, and I'll show you why once I get everything set up. Alright, so I already turned it off, and now, as always, make sure you unplug the power. I always like to hit the button so it tries to start up and it uses up what batteries or what power is stored in the capacitors. And then unscrew that. And here is the inside. So the things I'm replacing is this motherboard, the memory that's on it, because this is DDR3 and the new board takes DDR4, and the power supply here. So let's go ahead and start by disconnecting the power cables to everything. These short cables that I had, I bought these a while ago. They have like little connectors, these little spring tab connectors that help lock it in so they don't walk out. Disconnect the USB interface. Take out this network card. I gotta figure out where I stored that so I can put it back in. I know I have it somewhere. It'll be found after the video. And connectors. So here goes the old board. Get the power supply out now. Alright, so there's that. And the reason why the metal faceplate here is off was because this normally goes in a case like this. Well, it had a raised metal fan grill, and the case has an open grill in the top, so it wasn't working. So I mean, the power supply was working, but that grill that went over top didn't, so that's why I took it out. So the first thing we're going to install is the new Fractal Design Ion Plus 660p. It's a 660 watt fully modular platinum power supply. The reason why I went platinum with this is because since this is going to be running basically 24/7, I wanted something that was a little more power efficient that hopefully will save me electricity. I think the one, this Antec, it's probably not even any kind of, like, you know, efficiency rating. I think I bought it like a long time ago, and I can't remember what it was. So I'm gonna rule it that it's like a, not even like a bronze. It's not even bronze. So I was probably, you know, pissing away electricity every time I used it, and it ran for a good while before it decided to go funky. So again, I'm not gonna rule out the power supply isn't bad, but if I would have bought a power supply and it still would have done it, then I still would have ended up having to order the stuff, and it just would have been a little later for me. So I figured, you know what, I'm not going to take that chance. I'm just going to order a power supply and be done with it, along with the motherboard and everything, so that I don't have to worry about it. And there's the fan, although I got a weird feeling it's only gonna mount. Oh no, it goes upside down. Never mind. Never mind. It's me being stupid. Yeah, it's gonna go like this. Is that? There's a mode switch. I wonder if it has something to do with the fan. We'll find out soon enough, won't we? Alright, so... okay, it goes like that. Isn't that interesting? I have to back out that screw. Yay. Just so I can get this power supply in. That's going to be fun. Let's just see how well this works. Actually, before I do that, may as well slide this out. So yeah, this is going to be fun. Because that screw, when I put it back in so it doesn't mess up the rail, is going to stick into that power supply. I think the other one was small enough, that's why I didn't bother it. I don't think. One. I don't tighten them all the way in until I get all four put in. That way if I need to maneuver it, the power supply is still loose and it can move. Because sometimes the holes don't line up exact. I've had that happen on a few case builds that I did that too. That one. There's that one. This one. And this one. Alright, so it is now in. Woo! But it looks like it moved. It might actually allow it to work. Who knows? Sometimes I've just seen things go sideways real easy. So, alright. Let me go ahead and tighten that screw down while I'm thinking about it before I put this back in. There's that. just latch. There, I think I got it. Alright. Just wiping the grease from the rails off my hands. Okay, so at least I thought this one was locked in. Maybe, maybe not. Feels like that's alright. I'll connect them up later. I'll just push it in. It seems like it's locked in, but for some reason it's probably the cables. You know, I had this happen one other time, and I don't know why. Now I'll have to fix it later. I hate when that happens. Alright. So the next thing I gotta do... Alright. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna install the motherboard, and the motherboard I chose is the MSI A320M Pro HV. It's a socket AM4. It's a micro ATX, and it's the reason why I chose it was because yes, this is a download machine. It's not something that I really want to have running, you know, like a high wattage usage, because I chose the other small ones because I had an AMD BioStar, and I think the one that I just took out was definitely its replacement. It was a ASRock motherboard, and with it was nice because of the fact that it used very little. Both of them used very little power, and I mean very little, which was great. But it sucked when it ran Windows 10 on it, and then when and this is with both of them, then I switched over to Debian, and with Debian it was nice because they did actually perform a little better. The AMD BioStar improved us very little, but it was still an improvement. The ASRock with the Intel chip worked better than the AMD, and it was a little larger for it, but the only thing is it still wasn't enough. It was still running really bad. So, but it was working to a degree, and that's why I just left it in there and didn't bother replacing it, because what it was doing was fine, and a lot of times I had to restart it. But there was definitely an inherent problem with those embedded boards that you get from Newegg, because they have, when you select motherboards, you can go to embedded, and it has like the video and the processor and stuff, which, like I said, they're nice boards if they work. Haven't run into one that works well enough. I mean, I'm not expecting gameplay quality smooth, but just running the operating system, it should be smooth. Okay, because yes, I know Windows and Debian, especially if you have like, I don't know what the term's called, but for the graphics, you know, for the desktop management, so that you have like a graphic interface, okay? You know, to be perfectly honest with you, it should still be smooth regardless. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. It should be smooth regardless. The problem was that it wasn't as smooth as I was hoping it was going to be. Alright. Oh man, this is gonna suck. May have to use things that don't work on my stuff. So let me see. This is going to be SATA 4, SATA 3. Okay, 2 and 1 are there. That's fine. I don't care if I lose 3 and 4 because there's really not going to be a lot of drives put into this. Alright. My big head got in the way. Sorry. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to short anything out. Okay, now that should be good. Alright. Let's try this again. And then I got to pull down the... Because the weird thing is, it did not come with a stupid manual in the box, which, I mean, I know things are tight and stuff like that, but I think not including a manual so that you know what the pinout configurations are to hook everything up, which I'm going to have to pull these drives out of the way so I can finish hooking up all this stuff. I have a nice Plano two-sided organizer for all the extra screws that have come with a lot of cases over the years. Believe me, it comes in handy, and it does. And if you separate them by type, you know, by like what the head is, it actually works out pretty good. Except for in this case when I seem to not find what I'm looking for. Yay. That always happens. I want to say this should be the right one. We'll find out here in a second. Yep, it goes in, so that's the right type. Cool. I mean, you never know, because each case manufacturer likes to make things different for you. And alright, so I think that's all the screw holes. Now I just need to tighten all these down. Alright, so everything's now tightened down. So now it's called download manual time. And the motherboard is $60.99 on Newegg. That's what its current price is. Because the weird thing is, if I go to MSI's site, I can't find this particular board, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. And it doesn't make any sense. Manufacturer product page. But if I go to Newegg's site, go and find the board, and click on the manufacturer's page, it actually comes up, which again, makes no sense to me whatsoever. Which again, I don't know why they can't just print a stupid manual. Because I'm sure that manual didn't save me any, not having the manual in the box saved me any money. I'm pretty sure that it didn't save me anything. Which again, I mean, I'm all for savings, but it's like, I even looked on the disc, because I had a laptop that actually had a CD drive in it, and it didn't even have the manual on the CD. It's like, okay, that would be fine if you would have had it on the CD, but they didn't even have it on the CD. Wow, there's only one system fan. Are you flipping kidding, right? A little piece of junk had more, well, yeah, it had 2 fan headers. I mean, I might be able to, if the power supply has a thing to run these type of fans. I might even have a way to convert, but I have no idea where I put it right at this point in time. So yeah, that's not going to happen right now. I bought some of those converters. I might have already used them, I think, in one of the storage units, And this isn't even going to fit all the way, so that's not happening. Yay! No airflow, no airflow. That sucks. Alright, well, let's move on to setting up the power and everything. I downloaded the stupid manual onto my tablet, the one that I fixed in a previous video. I'll link it. Reset switch goes this way. Hard drive LED should go this way. And then power LED. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Alright, well, we're not to that point of reinstalling the hard drives just yet. We gotta install the the processor next. Actually, I'm gonna put the memory in next. And the memory I chose was the g.skill. Ages. I know it says gaming memory. It's really not going to be used for gaming, so I know that kind of sucks, but this is total of 16 gigs of RAM because the last 2 boards had 8 gigs of RAM each. And like I said, the performance was okay. It wasn't great. But it wasn't bad. I mean, the Intel board wasn't bad. I think it still could have been better. Okay, there's one. And here comes number 2. Okay, memory's in place now, so that's good. So here comes the processor now. Now I chose a box processor because again, thank God that didn't hit the floor. I chose a box processor just because of the fact that it's basically, like I said, it's acting like a server. It's just downloading. It's not really doing anything else. I mean, if I was doing which, I mean, with this one here, I might be able to do some video processing. Debating if I'm going to. I haven't decided if I'm going to or not. Just because. There we go. Dropped right in. If you're really careful, you could just slide it ever so slightly, and it should just drop in, because I've done this I don't know how many times now, and it's so much easier now than it ever has been in the past. And I know that this has, because it's a box processor and it's got some weird kind of little stuff there, I'm just going to put a tiny drop of stuff that I have here, and as long as you don't put too much between that and what's stuck on this processor, it should work. I'm pretty sure it probably says don't do that, but I'm doing that anyways, just because I want to make sure that it's going to cool properly. And this is the Antec Reference Silver or something like that. I've had this stuff for a little while. Okay, are you gonna come out? See, I just put a very tiny dot on it, because when this comes out, or when the weight of this goes down and you press it down and everything, it's going to spread that so evenly and so nicely that it's not even funny. Lock it down nice and tight, and plug this in, maybe. If I would have plugged it in the right way, it would have worked. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so far we've got everything connected except for the SATA cables, the drives, and the power supply connections. So we'll move this stuff over up here out of the way. Let's move all this stuff for the processor out of the way. We don't need this anymore. Not for everything else that we're doing. Alright, so let's grab the cables for the power supply. And a couple of other power supplies I ordered. I think they're PC power and cooling. No, I think they're OCZ, but anyways, the ones I ordered for these two storage units, they were gold power supplies. The one in the bottom unit's 800 watts, the one in the top's 1100 watts. And they put these in the bag, and I mean, they're really nice cables. I gotta pull them out, see what all I'm gonna need. But the good thing is they got a nice storage case so that you don't lose them. It's the same way with the others. I kept one of the boxes and just threw all the cables for both of these power supplies. And they're, considering they're like from different companies, they're gonna, you know, only connect a certain way to certain ones. It's PCIe, which I'm not gonna need. So let's see, won't need that one. Not sure about that one. This one I'll need. This one I won't. And this one I won't. I might have to see if the owner's manual's there to find out what I need to do to plug in this so it'll power. I found at least two cables I need. This one I want to say, yeah, it plugs into this here, so the motherboard, I heard it click, and I always support the edge of the board so I don't like snap it or crack it or anything of the kind. And I'm definitely going to need the book because the thing's upside down. And I'm going to grab the light too because I have a feeling I'm going to need it as well. That one fell down there, same as this one, so yeah. And these cables are nice and soft too. Alright. Oh, come on, you piece of junk from Harbor Freight. Okay. I see it now that I see the light. I gotta plug these two ends into these two sockets here. Okay, cool. Now I remember from the past that if you have the extended power supply slot, you don't need to use that, but I got a weird feeling I'm gonna end up needing it anyways. Just call me crazy, because I am. So there's that. It's not going to work the way I want it to, because when I put the hard drives in, they are going to be in the way. Thank God they gave me these reusable zip ties for this shit. So there's that. Now I just got to figure out what I'm going to do. What is this? That's the reset switch. I thought I put that in there. No, it either I didn't put it in or it popped out, one or the other. I'm gonna say it probably popped out. Make sure all these are pushed down. They are. Alright. Just stay put, don't move. I'll be happy. Okay. So now, say the 2. Ooh. Power cords connected for the drives. Another one of these. I just bought a crap ton of these at Monoprice. They had them on sale. I bought quite a few colors. They were like $1 or something a roll, so I ordered like 2 of certain colors. I think it came out to be like $12 and something. And then those ones they're cut to length because they're on 5-yard rolls, and then you just cut them to length. So probably better better to go under like this. Okay, and let's connect these up first. Now granted, my cable management isn't the greatest in the world, never is. Man, you gotta be kidding. Well, that sucks. Looks like I'm gonna have to half-ass this. I think I'm gonna have to change drive cables, or the power cable for the drives, because it's sticking out right here and it's hitting the memory. And not only that, but the drives, like, there's no way for me to adjust the height of the hard drives, so I'm gonna have to like kind of cattywampus this, but I want to fix that sticking out, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to, because I don't know why they put these on up the fuck side down. It's so stupid. The SATA connections are always upside down because they're assuming it's a tower case. Fucker. And even if I'd switch it with the other thing here, it's still not going to work. It sucks so bad. Well, this can only happen to me. I mean, I can try running this without the thing there, but I just got a weird feeling it's going to be needed. Let me check the manual for the motherboard before I... Yeah, I'm going to have to connect that. Alrighty. Now remember, it's like, oh, if you have this, you don't need it, but yeah, apparently I need it. Okay, found the right one, finally. I had to pause the video because my wife was talking to me. I just love how this thing doesn't even really describe. It's 12 volt. So I should be able to plug this into any of that stuff. In theory. Sorry, I'm checking things back and forth just because of the simple fact is I don't want to blow this thing up. Okay. Because that's the worst thing you could do is you build something and then all of a sudden, poof, you blow it up. And then we connect one PCI these for the CPU. And I'm going to take this out. I'm going to try to turn this sideways. At least mount it with one screw. I really don't think it's going to help much, if any. But it's better than nothing. And then at some point, I'm going to have to figure out how to get these fans to run. Or otherwise, I think this case is going to get a little warm. Just a little bit. Okay, so if I do that... Or would it be better to do it this way? I mean, the sad thing is, this can actually just sit the way it is. Like this. I mean, there's a chance it could rock, but I can't see it. It's really not going to tip over. I'm probably just going to leave it the way it is. I'll just have to put these screws in something so that I don't lose them. Now, the $64 question is, I think it might be better if I do it this way as opposed to that way, because then I can plug these directly in. And say to 1. And try to keep off of the CPU so it doesn't go to Schittsburg. And see, these are the kinds of things that can happen. Because you think, okay, it should fit. Yeah. Yeah, it didn't go as well as I thought it would. And like I said, you know, you think it's going to work the way you want it to, and then once you put it together, it's like, oh no, it's not going to work the way you want it to. Alright. Okay, so... yeah, the only thing I have to figure out now is how to run that. And oh wait, I do have one. Yay! I have to plug another cable in, but I can at least power one of the fans to help bring airflow in. I can't do the other one. If only I could get the cable to go all the way over there, but I do have one of these that'll run off the power supply. I have to plug in one of those other cables to do it, but oh, wait a minute, I do have to. That is awesome. I can actually connect both. Thank God I found this. I mean, it's gonna suck. I'm gonna have to plug in another one of these, but you know what? I would rather do that than not do it and then have this thing get like extremely hot and stuff dies after a certain point in time. Or somewhere in time. There we go. For some reason, upside down doesn't want to go on, but right side up it went on. That made no frickin' sense. Put this in a nice little knot like this. And watch, this one will probably do the same thing. Hey, I'm not going to go on right. Oh, that one went on. Alright. Yes, this is a little janky. Not much I can do. It's the hand that's, you know, dealt to me. So that's fine. All that. And I know I got a new power cord. I mean, sometimes I use the power cords that come with new supplies. Sometimes I use the old ones. I'm not going to worry about it. Just because. I mean, I'm going to use the new one. I'll fetch the old one at a later time. I do have to fetch the network cable. Oh, come on. There's that. But yes, you definitely need airflow in these cases, and like I said, hopefully this will work. Gonna have to clean the spider webs out of this thing. Oh. Man, is it hell getting old. Alright. Can I grab the network cable? Okay. Okay. Wow. It took a little bit to get the network cable plugged in. Now, one thing I always recommend, do not close the case up until you're sure it's working. Just because it can definitely go sideways real quick. Alright, so where's the switch? There it is. Okay, nothing smoked, so that's good. And everything's twirling. There's no beep. There's no video either. Okay, there we go. Oh, thank God. Press F1 to run setup. Oh shit. I even thought I had the LED plugged in the wrong way, but I didn't, and I forgot to connect the keyboard and mouse to it. So I couldn't run the setup like I wanted to. Sorry you guys can't see it because the camera's in one way, and I'll try to describe it as best I can. Okay. Well, at least now I know. Wow, that's messed up. This fan runs all the time. That is weird. I'm going to have to look into that. Light came on. And let me grab the keyboard. That must have automatically adjusted everything because it's now starting to load Debian. Did it load or restart or what? Because the screen's like blank. I wonder if that hard drive's bad. I'll go into the BIOS setup when I see it. Went by so fast, I didn't even get a chance to hit it. Alright, well, I mean, it's working. I'm into the BIOS and everything. I'm going to close it up and finish what I have to do with it, so... Okay, and as you can see that I put everything in, everything was working. The problem I had was that for some reason the hardware was too new for Debian, which doesn't make sense to me at all. So I ended up putting Windows back on the machine. Got a couple of license keys from gvgmall.com. They were on sale, and put a key on it, and it activated. So, you know, Windows 10's legit. I mean, I know I could run it without the activation, but I couldn't change some of the features because it had that stupid, you know, if you like rest your mouse on it, it tells you a little bit about whatever, and I'm just like, I really don't give a rat's rear about it. So yeah, so basically it's up and running. Software is reinstalled. Luckily, there was Windows versions of what I was running on Debian. And again, I don't know why it didn't work. Debian didn't work, and I wasn't about to try another distro just because it probably would have just been a big pain in the ass, and I just didn't care at that point. So, but it's back up and running. Everything's fine. And as I always like to say, have a good day, guys, and take care.